After nearly 7 years since its initial reveal trailer was released, the long-awaited and highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong, the second game by Team Cherry and one of the most anticipated games of all time, finally had its release date revealed in a special announcement trailer released by Team Cherry on August 21st, 2025, revealing that the game would release just 2 weeks later on September 4th.
September! Fucking September! Holy shit! It's only like a week away! Holy shit, man! Fuck yeah!
September 4th was truly a day to be remembered. For some, it even started as a rather bittersweet, melancholic day despite the circumstances. As everyone waited and ticked down the last few hours to Silksong's release that morning with bated breath, we had to say goodbye to some absolute titans in the community like Daily Silksong News, who had been standing for years before, and recognize the inevitable shift in the Hollow Knight community that would surely follow as we left behind the pre-Silksong era and entered the post-Silksong era. September 4th truly did mark the end of an era 6 long years running. A truly monumental day that will undoubtedly go down in gaming history. No, not just gaming, world history. A day that some thought would never come. And a day with such an astronomically anticipated event like Silksong's release that when it finally did release that morning, it completely crashed most digital game retailers' services for multiple hours, like Steam, PlayStation, and the Nintendo eShop. That was just 2 months ago as of today, and ever since then, Silksong has been thoroughly picked apart, with so much of what it has to offer already being explored and explained, with more on the way, tons of content already being made about it that ranges from phenomenal to good to questionable, and millions of people across the world enjoying the game that they waited so long for, many of them having already completed their playthroughs, and some having already completed multiple playthroughs. And now, having recently finished the game myself after a long, grueling process of trying to unlock and get through Act 3 while also dealing with many struggles in my life, I now feel like I'm ready to give my opinions and my review of Hollow Knight Silksong, which is something I haven't done before with a game. I'm not a game reviewer. I'm not very good at getting my thoughts and opinions out as it is, let alone reviewing games and my opinions on them. But there's a lot I want to say about Hollow Knight Silksong, and I really want to get what I want to say out there for everyone else to hear, even if nobody actually cares. Now, I know I ruffled a few feathers with the last Silksong video I made, commenting on a small... Maybe it was a bad take, but this time I aim to redeem myself, to finally talk about Silksong with the praise that it deserves, and to yap about this game and my experience with it going through the Kingdom of Farloom alongside Hornet. So let's start from the beginning, and right off the bat, let me ask the hard-hitting questions again. Did Silksong live up to the hype? Is it worth picking up and playing if you haven't already? Is it a worthy successor to the absolutely beautiful first game? Was it worth the over half a decade we spent waiting for it on bated breath? Is Hollow Knight Silksong a good game? And, well, I'll be honest, the answer to all those questions is a resounding yes.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Everything about this game oozes passion. Team Cherry once again has dropped a masterpiece, chef's kiss beauty right here, absolute cinema, peak right here. Everything about it is great. I loved my time with it. The music, fantastic. Christopher Larkin has once again knocked it out of the park, home run. The art style, gorgeous. The characters, charming, great. I liked a lot of them. Others, not so much, but most of them were pretty okay. This game is absolutely phenomenal. It is absolute cinema, peak, and that is not a subjective opinion. That is objective. That is a fact. The gameplay, I liked it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it, outside of a couple of moments, but overall, I really enjoyed my time with it. I think that it is a really fun game to play. It's difficult, it's definitely challenging, absolutely, although it's nowhere near the hardest game out there, of course. But there were quite a few moments throughout my playthrough where it was frustrating, even bordering on unfun at times, and as ashamed as I am to admit it, I even rage quit and gave up on the Last Judge, First Sinner, and Lost Lace fights, even though the First Sinner is probably one of my favorite fights in the entire game alongside Phantom, but even she was still enough to make me give up and step away from the keyboard for a while out of sheer frustration of losing over and over again. But even despite all that, I still really enjoyed my time with this game, even despite the bumps in the road where the game absolutely steamrolled me and had me shaking my fist like an angry boomer yelling to get off his lawn. I think the game does a lot of really cool things, and the gameplay is just really fun. The exploration can be a bit tedious at times, the runbacks to try and go through and find every single secret. It is kind of annoying, kind of tedious at times, but I still had a lot of fun with it, and I appreciate some of the things that I think they did better than the first game, like the build customization, for example. I really like how much more variety and how many more avenues there are for builds and customization compared to the first game. While I do like the simplistic charm system from the first Hollow Knight, there's so much more variety in Silksong to choose from and experiment with different crests and tools, the blue passive charms, you get it. Plus, you can also give Hornet guns, and that's pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, even though I say that Silksong is a really fun experience, I had a lot of fun with it, and I think that it's a really good game full of some absolutely phenomenal elements and some really fun gameplay, unfortunately, Silksong is not a perfect game, as much as we wish it was. I know that the difficulty has been a point of contention ever since the game's release. They even had a nerf, I think, only a week after the game came out, where they nerfed 2 of the early game bosses because of the discourse surrounding it. But in my opinion, it was definitely difficult, but it wasn't game breaking or game defying to me, although for some that is definitely going to be different. Everyone's experience is different, so I'll just chalk it up to, does the game have its flaws? Absolutely. Some more glaring than others, like I just said. Are there problems? Definitely. But I think that the game is still good overall. Although there are some things that are definitely unforgivable in my opinion. Should these guys have gotten more screen time? Absolutely. Is it a crime that there isn't a single scene where Hornet and Map Mommy make out? Absolutely.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
But yeah, I really liked this game. It was a really fun game. It was a really fun experience. A journey. What a journey it was going through this game. I had so much fun with my time with it, even despite the ups and downs in the road, the points of frustration of getting stuck, of Grohl the Great and Morwing. Even despite that, it was a really fun game. I really enjoy it. Team Cherry absolutely slapped with this one. Once again, they brought their A game. This game is so fun. It's not for everyone, of course, but it's a gem. It is such a fun experience. So jam-packed with great content, filled with so much stuff, hours worth to explore, even more on the way as well, and all for just $20. No microtransactions, no pay-to-win elements, no overpriced DLC that costs a third of the base game's price, or extra content locked behind a paywall. Just $20 up front for everything Silksong has to offer. That's crazy. That's a steal. So yes, in short, if you couldn't already tell from me glazing the hell out of this game for the past however many minutes, I think Hollow Knight Silksong is an excellent game and I really enjoyed my time with it. But hey, don't take my word for it. Take the word of the numerous other far popular, far more intricate deep dives and far more serious reviews talking about this game and people's experience with it and how much they enjoyed it, or maybe didn't enjoy it. They're probably worth more of your time than I am. So, yeah, there you go. In short, like I said, Hollow Knight Silksong is a good game. I really liked it. A solid 9 out of 10 in my opinion. Case closed. Alright, that's all I gotta say. That's the end. We're done here. Wrap it up. Hi, Seal from editing here. It's 1:30 in the morning as I edit this, and I didn't realize until after I already stopped recording that I didn't actually answer the majority of the questions I proposed at the beginning of the video. If the game lived up to the hype, if it's as good as the first game, if it was worth the wait, and yeah, it absolutely was, in my opinion at least. I'm sure some people may disagree, although not very many, since the score all across the board for Silksong is overwhelmingly positive. The reception has been great, so more people than not enjoy the game and think that it was good. And yes, I absolutely think that it was worth the wait. Definitely a long time to wait, but I think that it paid off in the end. And the game is just as good, if not superior, in several ways to the first game. And yeah, overall, Silksong is a great game, and that's about all I wanted to say. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and see ya.